Midweek Chat Attack.
Are you on fucking pros in that? Goddamn, you're happy as fuck today.
I am happy as fuck, man. It's because I took a nap a little while ago. Like, you know, I'm a little tired still. I'm still a little dazed from it, but I feel great. Ganja, how you doing? You're looking extra colorful today.
I'm looking baked and tired, man.
Yeah, because he is baked and tired. And, man, Alan, you look like you went through some shit. What happened with you?
I don't know. Just stuff, man.
You know what? I have an idea. Or not an idea. I just have an, I guess, actually the word is idea. I have an idea of what you went through earlier. I'm looking at the Google chat. 90s is talking to you, sending a bunch of messages. Did you just get done playing Ark?
No, why?
Because you even brought up Thatch earlier, too. He brought up Thatch earlier as well, and I'm thinking, like, yeah, you know, if you just got him playing Art, maybe today is not the best day to do a podcast, because that shit puts me in the fucking worst mood ever. So
No, it's like, no, because I pop in and all I hear is Thatch. It's like, oh, you're talking about Art, because that's like the 3 games you play.
I play more than that. I need to get back into Stellaris. That shit, how do you say it? I say it wrong.
Stellaris.
It's okay. I've known you for this long. You're never gonna get it right.
Fuck you, man. No, but yeah, God's in the house too. Let me see your shirt real quick too, man. That shit looks all trippy.
Man, I got this shit in fucking Venice Beach when they had the LA party. For some reason, man, this is actually really fucking warm because I've been dealing with the weather now. It's changed in Colorado, so it's like 55 degrees and snowing. But it's like that.
How is it snowing at 55 degrees?
It's 55 and snowing, and the best part is it's like that half-ass snow, so it's like turns into like the slush shit at the bottom. Yeah. So I've been just watching all the traffic jams that have been occurring on the highway this week.
Damn.
Oh, so you're the same thing that as soon as the first snowfall hits, nobody knows how to drive anymore?
Pretty much.
It's just funny though, because like that's a pretty sadistic way to enjoy the fucking seasonal change of just like, oh no, I was outside watching people like getting car wrecks and everything. It was fucking great. Like I love traffic jams. I like how people are not fucking enjoying their day. Like it's just, I don't know, it's a little sadistic for you.
Honestly, you get used to it because again, the same thing happens in Canada. As soon as the first snowfall of the year happens, the entire city just falls the fuck apart. Like traffic jams, everything's off schedule. People just say fuck it and don't go to work. Like
everybody forgets what it's like to be in wintertime, man. They like a couple of weeks to get accommodated again.
Yeah, guy, I feel like you said this shit wrong. Like accommodated.
I did. I was waiting.
Have sex all the time, everywhere.
Yeah, just come in. Only because of the season, by the way.
Hey, it's winter. Hey, winter Canada. You got nothing to do but to keep each other warm, so you might as well.
Exactly. I'm looking at the YouTube chat really quick too. Red Rob by Keen's the only guy, man. We're lonely in here, people. Come on, man. It's a chat attack, and no one's attacking the fucking YouTube chat. People get inside the YouTube chat as well. Don't love some shit. No, he's actually saying that I like dudes. It's like a new thing he says. I don't know why he thinks I like dudes. I don't like dudes. I fucking hate dudes.
I can see it. I think you'll be more of a top than a bottom, though. I can see you doing the fucking not getting fucked. It's weird like that.
Yeah, no, you say that, but everything gets flipped in the bedroom, man.
Wait, damn! You said that like he has experience.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Well, he just tells about his cream pies, you know, during the MCA Plus.
No, and I'm looking at the chat, the main chat, and yes, like Adrian, yes, we are talking. We're talking Walking Dead. Yeah, that's a weird sentence there. And yes, people were making fun of me earlier too. People were just like, "Yeah, wake up!" I was fucking up a lot, man. I'm sorry. I'm a little fucking tired, everybody. But no, I'm here. I'm never really tired on these shows. I finally get my chance to be a little fucking. I'm like, I'm a little sleepy. Fucking A. Yeah.
What kind of sad ass trumpet is that?
It's a say it with me.
How do I say it? It's not no vowels. What the fuck are you talking about? Say it with me. It's not even a sound that you're making.
I just want you to try it. You almost had it, honestly.
That's what you said.
No, don't do those. Don't. No, I hate those fucking things. Those are the worst jokes ever. You're fucking.
No, they're much worse. Like you and fucking Justin won't stop with the goddamn puns, but that's what she said are the worst jokes.
The puns are actually pretty clever. Mine's not Justin's. Justin's fucking puns are, man. What? People were laughing at my shit last time. People like that shit. But no, here's the thing, people. We're not going to have that be a rule or anything. We're not going to have that be a thing where we, don't do that because I'm going to continue that all the time. But segue. Rules! Dumb rules! You got your rule. Why don't you tell everybody about these rules right away, sir?
So as you pull them up so the people can see it, because every week some of them seem to forget because they're dumbasses. But I still love y'all. Rule number 1, newcomers join the call first. It's all about those fresh smelling faces, so make sure to hit us up in the PM box so we get you on the show. Hit me, Nick, or Alan inside the PM, and we'll send you the Google Hangouts. Do not talk over each other. I was waiting for you to say some shit. It's just plainly rude and it kills time for other conversations like we just did right there. So please, keep that in mind. Do not talk over each other. Rule number 3, please no nudity, folks. We have a planned show here, and that includes keeping your titty inside your shirt. Plus, YouTube kind of kicks us off the channel if we do that shit. Rule number 4. Do not give anyone else the link. Another thing we have planned is who comes onto the show with their titties and their shirts. So if you give out the link to anyone else, we'll kick you and their dumbasses out. Rule number 5. Read the rules. And because Allie girls are here, Alan.
Don't be a dick, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. But I didn't even get to have it on you. I didn't get to see that serious motherfucker face. I love that shit. He's like the white Samuel L. Jackson. Like Samuel Waxon. Okay, now
he says motherfucker like PewDiePie says the N-word.
Well, with well, I'm not even gonna continue. I was gonna say some joke, but I'm not even gonna get into
with
that.
Anger and vitriol and hate, yes, all those things, Nick. With all of them
absolutely.
combined, wrapped into a nice burrito.
Fuck you. How about that, Concha?
He said that like PewDiePie too. Fuck you guys. I'm gonna apologize though. No, you know what?
The racial slurs behind the show.
No.
What have I ever said on the show that I should apologize for?
Dude, I feel like you should, because here's the thing that everyone's just kind of fucking up on. And hopefully you don't say something that makes us part of some kind of news headline too. But
I doubt it.
My boy. Actually, I'm his boy. He's so fucking old. Steven Segal.
Yeah, Steven fucking Segal.
So, this man with this paint-on fucking mustache, that fucking goatee, that fucking thing is awful, by the way.
That looks off. It looks like it's fucking shifted to the side. It doesn't. It's not center. It's like someone just shaved a goatee off somebody else and glued it onto his face.
Yeah. God, look at his face, man. I'm telling you, dude, remember when this dude used to be a fucking heartthrob, Ganja?
What? What?
No, I'm serious.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck?
That is Steven Seagal.
Okay, in my defense, I wasn't really grown, I guess, at the time when he was still kind of in his heyday and still, like, quote-unquote, looking fine to Nick. But, like, when I remember Steven Seagal, it's always been a pudgy motherfucker, man. Like, I don't see him anything else but a pudgy kind of, like, basic karate dude with his, I think it was Taekwondo he did.
He did something. Like, he was always an action star. Like, he was up there, with Arnold and with Sylvester Stallone. Like, he was always that action dude. But I wouldn't ever say he was a heartthrob.
Well, like,
unless I missed
back
something.
then, I remember girls, maybe it's because I grew up around a lot of Mexicans. Like, oh my God, look at him, he's so, oh Lord. That's a wrong accent.
That's your Mexican accent?
Yeah.
Man, you know what, though? He does look like an extra from Carlito's Way in that photo.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can imagine him like, where are you going, girl?
Yeah.
Come over here, Holmes. What are you doing?
I don't want to be Mexican.
Hey. Wait, oh, you're right. He's not Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, yeah.
Oh, wow. No, man. But
Yo,
hey,
girl, I know Kung Fu, man. I take your brother Paco down. We go back, man. Right,
Man, I swear to God, though, dude, man. Like, and who knew, man? Who knew there was so much, just guttural hatred within this beautiful young man? No, actually, I'm pretty sure this is something that changed with his old age, and you just started hanging around assholes, because this motherfucker has been. What? What were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing, man. My shit's fucking up. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, your internet is rough as fuck today. But, I mean,
Yeah.
I will say, though, like, Steven Seagal, though, there was a time where, like, he wasn't such an angry guy, but, like, recently he's been in some situations that has kind of made people think about a different way about Steven Seagal. Like, for instance, like, now he, I think it was, like, 3 years ago, he started training with Machida. It's a UFC fighter. I forgot his fucking first name.
Right.
But, he was saying shit like, hey, man, people don't know what the fuck they're thinking in the UFC. You guys like to talk about knockouts. Like, to knock somebody out, you have to be a bad fighter, blah, blah, blah. I know all the tricks and the trades to MMA, mixed martial arts, and they're not doing it right in the UFC, so I'm going to start training Machida. All this shit. Like, he was really kind of, like, talking a lot of shit and thinking that he's amazing. And apparently he kind of is, because Machida actually did want him to train him, and I think a lot of other UFC fighters use him as well.
Oh, okay.
Why?
That's interesting. That's a strange thing, because, like, we had this discussion before, and obviously I always talk a ton of shit, and my first words were, who the fuck cares about Steven Seagal's opinion on anything? And I even posted that on Facebook, and Nick's like, no, he's doing all this stuff with UFC, he's doing all this training stuff. But with this, it's like, it was so random, so out of nowhere of, we need to talk to Steven Seagal. My first thought was Dave Chappelle, where's Ja? We gotta talk to Ja.
Yeah, that's weird too. Oh yeah, Ja Rule.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought.
But like, here's him. I forgot if this is Vlanderday Anderson or somebody. God, man, there's so many Andersons.
Steven Seagal? God damn, he looks old.
Yeah, no, he's old. As fuck,
Anderson
man.
Silva.
Anderson Silva. That man.
His name's Anderson Silva. I only remember because Joe Rogan fucking has a major homosexual hard-on for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, there's even other guys here. I mean, I don't know who the fuck this is. I thought this was like my uncle or some shit. But no, like, over here too. You know?
Dude, that could be all our uncles.
It
Could
really
you imagine?
could.
Like, Nick looks through. Oh God, that is my uncle.
No shit. You know, but I mean, and I was surprised that like Anderson Silva would ever listen to this fucking dude. But I mean, apparently he gave him a lot of tips and everything. I mean, even Kale Sonnen, I think, was also saying good things about Steven Seagal, even though Steven Seagal was training his arch nemesis, you know, Anderson Silva. Pretty cool shit. I like Steven Seagal a little bit. But like Alan said, man, even with movies, this dude actually, I think it was like 2011, he just started doing all these like B movies and whatnot, and he was in a movie with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was like, dude, fuck yeah.
2011.
Yeah, it was like 2011, 2012 or whatever, and like he started doing all these movies. What?
I look, I'm on the same boat as you. How you feel about Steven Seagal? Because I remember watching these movies a lot with my father, and it was something that he would always put down. This movie, like, oh, come watch this movie with Steven Seagal, and like halfway through, he'd be like, yeah, I can do that move to you, boy. It always turned into like he knows that karate move, and I don't know. He knows he doesn't. But the thing is, like, those were all kind of ready B action movies to like C level. Like, do you remember the one on the train where it's like this really shitty running thing, and he jumps, and it's a clear cut, and he just somehow gets on the other side, Alan. Like, no CGI going like this, just boom.
Man, the only Steven Seagal thing I've ever actually sat through, like a legitimate movie he starred in, was Under Siege, and only because I am a huge fan of Tommy Lee Jones, and I heard Under Siege is a good movie. That movie fucking sucks.
Well, and Gandra was talking about the sequel, and this fucking thing was rough. Yeah, this is Under Siege 2, Dark Territory.
That's it.
How many sequels did they make to this fucking thing?
Just one. It was just one. I think they did like some B movie.
That's shitty ass Randy does.
Yeah, no, and actually, dude, you had to put your hands. Don't make fists. Just have them straight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you joke. You're not supposed to run with your fists. You're actually supposed to run like that.
Yeah, because you chop the air.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You literally joke.
Like
No.
this?
Well, obviously, I'm not saying that, but the whole like thing in the air. That's legitimately how you're supposed to run because it reduces drag.
No, of course. No, I completely agree.
Really?
With you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
He's not even wrong, dude. But the thing is,
I
like,
used to take track. They like you look down. You have to look down while you're running. Keep everything kind of like almost kind of look like you're about to fall type thing.
but see this.
So like that Naruto run.
Yeah.
No, Naruto. Well,
Runs in
you joke,
Japanese.
Close enough.
Fucking
Like
with your hands
except for the
up.
arms in the back for some fucking reason. It's a decent stance.
But like
I
over
took
here though,
Oh.
he used to do like see that shit. Like this guy used to be the captain at the slap. He used to bitch slap the fuck off everybody. It was amazing.
He was.
I'm glad you showed this. I want to clarify same as I made on Saturday as far as action in movies. I was all over the place, but to sum it up is I like good choreographing in the action. So that's why I even checked out Under Siege. That thing you showed is an example of hand-to-hand combat with bad choreographing because it's just a bunch of quick cuts that it's just like, I think he's beating the shit out of him.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it was
I
bad.
can't really tell what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, and there's other times where he has done some good shit too. I mean, I think that this is
Yeah.
a pretty good fight over here. Every
Yeah,
punch
no,
feels...
that's actually not bad. It has editing, but it also looks like there's slap fighting. But I mean, it's half decent. Like, it's not bad.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna be honest. Time to just stop pretending right now and try to be professional. I'm just so glad we get to talk about Steven Seagal again.
It's okay. The next storyline will have Fred Durst in it, man. You get everyone you want to talk.
Like, this is the one midweek that it's finally shit that I care about. Like, I fucking hate comic book movies. I hate Batman. I hate Spider-Man. I hate all that shit. I'm talking about Steven Seagal and Negan today. Like, I am so fucking happy.
Man,
Like,
you say that, but honestly, I never I don't think he would ever have worked with the role. But young Steven Seagal to me looks just like the Punisher.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
he does. And the characters, remember Alfred Justice, Ganja? Like, he played basically Punisher. Like, he would go to the bars and just knock the fuck out of people.
Yep.
I mean, it was amazing. Like,
It was the Punisher. The only difference is he didn't really use guns, and his thing was that kind of weird slap kung fu that he loved to do.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, it's just a bunch of karate. It's like somebody just picked up a kung fu book and saw the first few pictures and said, "Oh, that's how you fight."
Yeah, no, he fought in stop motion. It was like...
No, it's Dragon Ball Z. It's Dragon Ball Z fighting where they just kind of do the punching in the air type thing, and they just do it really, really fast.
No, exactly. But
Or
that's
like
the
Bruce
thing.
Lee.
Yeah, no, exactly. Bruce Lee too, and
Yep.
I didn't even like Bruce Lee all that much too. But look at the chat. I'm gonna look at the chat really quick.
Yeah, they're not a huge fan of Steven Seagal. I think they're on my side of. Does really anyone like? It's really.
Oh, no.
No, they're not a fan
I-
because of the topic today. Because well, Ganja, actually, you go ahead and go first before you even continue. Because
I actually know why they hate Steven Seagal so vitriol. He's actually kind of been friends with known racists. He was a great friend of Joe Arpaio. You know him, Nick. He's from
Yeah.
your area. look, he's kind of a big asshole, very dick to Mexicans. He's kind of the main reason that the Arizona police force is the way they is, and he's big friends with them. He's even offered to train the Arizona police force. I think at one point,
He lives
Arparo
here, I
even
think,
let
too. Yeah.
yeah, he lived there for a while before he moved to Moscow. And I think Arparo at one point even let him borrow a tank for a shooting of his show. So that's why they don't like him, because he has made some racist statements in the past.
Oh no,
Damn.
yeah, and he looks like kind of a fucking racist too. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
people keep in mind me liking this because Jenny was in the chat. Like, of course Nick likes that. I mean, this testosterone. What kind of a fucking asshole would like that? Sweetheart, go back to Krispy Kreme Power Rangers, sweetheart. All right, fuck you. But anyway,
They're not wrong.
no. But the thing is, though, is like when I'm thinking about this, like it sucks because I have to do this thing where I separate, the person from the shit, the thing that he
it's a hard
does.
thing to do, like to talk to any Mel Gibson fans.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You have to separate the asshole from the actual stuff he did. And it's like, how far are you willing to go? How far are you willing to separate? Like one of my favorite inspirations is Eminem for writing and how he does his rap. But he talks a lot about a lot of fucked up shit that it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard for me to separate him from his music.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are sick of talking about this shit too, but like last night was September 26th, and it was a time where we finally got to see the Jeepers Creepers movie. It finally came out last night or whatever. It was shown a bunch of places. Apparently it was bad. But my thing is like, I've had this really bad luck of liking shit that assholes are part of. And it's like, I don't know where to draw the line, but over here I think it's time to do so. Because this shit, I don't know what Steven Segal is on. I don't know why everyone feels like their opinion should be out there, by the way, too. Like, I think
Oh
people
yeah,
need to
I hate
stop.
that. They just get these obscure. Like when I saw the photo, it was just like I can't tell if the fucking news thing was a Photoshop or a joke. But I posted in the chat, and it's just like friend of Vladimir Putin, and it's just like, what? I thought that was a joke. Like I legitimately thought that was a joke, and got to explain to me that he's a Russian citizen. I'm like, what did this fucking happen?
Yeah, like he has actual dual citizenship. Like he's that close to with the Russian leader Putin that he actually has dual citizenship. So he's living in Russia now as a citizen,
Wow.
and that's he's talking about American patriotism when you went to Russia.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the same thing goes for Donald Trump in a way too. But like, as I'm looking at this too, like he's over here saying, and here's the thing, and it was highlighted for me. I didn't do this myself, but he says too, like he was namely saying Trump calling on NFL players to be fired for protesting the national anthem. He probably agrees with that. There's a whole bunch of shit here. I'm not gonna read all this fucking racist crap.
Yeah,
But
it's a big deal issue right now of a bunch of football players during the NFL took a knee during the national anthem as a silent protest to, hey, look at all this shit that's going on in the country.
Now,
Right.
when people say though, like the players should be, fired for fucking kneeling down, you know what? Like everyone has this issue where they're discussing the situation, discussing the kneeling or then the not kneeling, and both sides are going at each other. I'm like, can we all just kind of like agree on something in the sense of like they're getting paid too much either way? Like when I first saw that this news story was getting up and everyone was like, oh man, they're kneeling and man, like fucking NFL players. I was like, okay, I think finally everybody saw these inflated fucking checks and people are starting to rebel against the fact that these motherfuckers get paid more than everybody in the whole planet to play a game. Like,
not really. People love the reason people are vitriol about this isn't that. It's because
I know it's not that. I just wish it was that.
Yeah. That'll never happen because like we said last time with the PewDiePie thing, entertainment's always gonna get people to pay a lot of money because you get to see so many other people. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm entertaining fucking 30 million people, 40, 50 million people. There, of course I'm gonna get a fucking $20 million check. Look how much money the fucking higher ups are getting. So of course the athletes are gonna get paid these incredible fucking paychecks because they're raking in so much money.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Nick is not wrong at all about it being a money issue because they weren't even doing the national anthem or this whole patriotic thing until I think around 2007 when they actually got a huge bonus from the United States government if they include more patriotic elements inside the NFL. So all this stuff is very recent. I think it's like less than 10 years old now that they've been doing this national anthem stuff. And they did it without even asking the players' consent or the coaches or anybody. So it's always been about a money thing. That's why the people are so pissed right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like NFL fans getting mad and everything. Like, it should just like at my point now. I'm not defending the dude or anything, and I really it seems like a piece of shit. And plus, no one gives a fuck about his opinion, so I don't know why he's putting that out there, anyways. But it's just one of those things where football fans just want to bitch, man. Like, I'm actually part of this fantasy football league shit, and everyone's like complaining about like, man, this is probably some borderline racism. It seems like all this piece of shit. I literally had like 3 people from our Children of Toast thing make some taco bowl fucking reference. I don't know what the fuck that means. All I know is that it sounds racist as shit to me. And I'm the only Mexican in there except for Sammy, but
Sammy will have a hat that says Taco Bell on it.
Yeah, Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, people just pick and choosing whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's weird to me.
Sports are a big deal. Like, that's a bedrock of the country. Like, people love their fucking sports, baseball, basketball, football. Like, they're vitriol towards it. They're like, again, any other fan base for anything, movies, video games, TV shows. They are going to fucking fight if they feel like they're being disrespected. That again, I don't agree, but I get the hatred.
Yeah, and
I get where Nick is coming from 100%, especially me coming from South Florida. That's our biggest problem with a lot of these celebrities. They come moving to South Florida and like mostly move to Star Island. They live to South Beach, and they never help the surrounding areas like a Little Haiti, a Hialeah. I'm trying to remember some other ones. Basically, the low income areas. They don't help those areas. They just care about Miami and South Beach. So the fact that these guys, like a good portion of like the Dolphin team was kneeling, meanwhile they don't go and help none of these neighborhoods with their income, shows how much they truly care about the inspiration. It's easy to make a political statement when it's in this grandiose kind of idea that will give you good PR, but when it's actually going down and doing the work, it's a different story. Like Kaepernick, like he's actually does the work. He goes, does these charity events, put his own money down the line. He goes and puts in the work and the effort. Where it seems like a lot of these guys are kind of just riding dick at this point when this was a fight like started 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with you. And that's the thing too is like, yeah, the Colin Kaepernick thing. I was talking to Will about this in a private message, and because he gets mad too, and he's just like, yeah, he's for kneeling. By the way, don't hate Will. Like he's totally, he's not doing some
too easy, way too easy,
way too easy.
You know what? I'm glad Nick said something because in the back of my mind, I was like, man, he probably's gonna say some racist shit.
No, Will's actually he hates Trump and the whole thing too.
I think Will probably just like to troll, just like to get people going. But yeah, I don't think it legitimately is like has hatred towards anything.
Yeah,
right.
But like we were talking, and I was just basically telling him like, yeah, I just don't know. Like everyone's like, oh, I'm so into this, I must kneel. People just really started kneeling because of Colin Kaepernick. How about let's all just give a round of applause to Colin Kaepernick instead of like, look, all these strong football players do this. They're just copying him. Where the fuck were you guys before Colin did?
But that's the thing. Like that's kind of the idea of why you do a protest, because you have one guy who starts it off, who sparks it, and then everyone else kind of starts showing their support, emulating the same thing. Yes, you're gonna have people that are just doing it for the sake of doing it, but that's kind of what I'm assuming in his head what he wants to do. He wants people to kind of say like, hey, take a look at what's going on. I'm not just kneeling because my leg fucking hurts. There's some shit going on, and this to me is one of the best ways I can actually like showcase this. And yeah, it might be a huge risk to my career, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it because I can.
Yeah, but we'll move on and everything. I just wanted to bring that up really quick. And I'm looking over here too. I'm gonna start a new hashtag. Jenny is racist. She says hashtag Nick is taco.
No, let's not do this. Not like the last time.
Oh no, we got a new racist gimmick here. It's no longer you, Alan. I found someone worse. It's definitely Jenny. That's the fourth taco joke. I don't even know the context of it other than I'm Mexican. I'm trying not to say cracker. but anyways, no. But cheese, all that good stuff, Krispy Kreme, I love it all. But now.
Hey, cheese goes on crackers.
Wait. That's awesome. Damn, what professional ass picture.
Yeah, you got a suit going, man? You got your hair done? Like, that's good.
I'm on the other account. You know how that goes.
ready to sue somebody, man.
I know, man. Fucking, I'm sorry for what I said. Shit.
Which part? You got a lot to sue Nick over, man.
Oh man, no. Ruthless is gonna have a fucking field day with me one day. Like.
So Ruthless, I may or may have not swallowed evidence. My thing is, if my bowels does the job, they won't have anything on us.
Not how that works, buddy.
This next thing, this will be quick.
Come on.
Because Ruth has actually said, like, no, bring this up real quick and let's move on and everything. And I totally agree because, man, my boy, Negan.
Here we go.
Yes! Yes!
All we need is Fred Durst next, man, and we have it for a week.
Fuck him dead, son!
And then Fred Durst does
Yo,
music for
the
Mortal
zombies on that wall, son!
They're asking Fred Durst what does he think about taking a knee, and also what does he think of The Walking Dead.
Hot diggity dog! Fresh and easy, lemon squeezy.
I think everybody should tear America apart like we did in Woodstock.
That's gonna be Negan's way or the hard way, or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Fuck that song.
Walking Dead can use F-bombs.
How do I know their lyrics better than you do? That's crazy.
I know. Nah, I'm stupid. I don't know, man. I'm tired of shit. But here's the thing, though, and like this is kind of misleading because it says The Walking Dead can use F-bombs in season 8.
Sure.
Now, this story, even though it's been posted on here today, I actually read this yesterday. And yeah, man, it's not. That's not the case. Basically, what they're saying is they're trying to do this thing where he's allowed to cuss twice per season. Because last night, or not last night, it was on Sunday night, on Fear the Walking Dead, there's a character named Nick, and he said fuck. He dropped the F-bomb. and everybody was like, "Oh my God, he dropped the F-bomb, and it's not even like 10 o'clock at night yet." And it's like, "Oh my God, TV can cuss now." The whole thing. Which, by the way, why are you that shocked? People's brains are splattered all over the fucking place. Like, what the fuck?
It's one of those things I never understood that of the whole cussing thing, because to me it's like, oh, we could have somebody get ripped in half or someone's eyeball get jabbed out of the face. It's like, but that's not hardcore enough. They have to swear too. It's like, no, you're getting away with a lot of shit. You're doing like some of those hard R violence you can do. Like hell, and it's not even the first show that's done this. Watch anything on FX. The People versus OJ. They dropped like 4 or 5 F-bombs in that season for that just one show alone.
Why is it taking so long for AMC to do this? Because I was watching Ocean's 11 and a few other movies recently, and those movies played at night, 11 o'clock, still no cuss words. Comedy Central, it's uncensored basically. Comedy Central says whatever the fuck they want to say after like 10:30.
You guys seriously don't know how this works?
Wait, say what?
Well, there's a lot of I'm sure Ruth will explain. There's a lot of like controversy when it comes to certain words being used on television, old rules and stuff.
Yeah, it's not just old rules, but Comedy Central especially has constantly worked to get their watershed moved up a little bit. So basically, they worked it out with the FCC to do. I want to say at one point it was supposed to be just midnight, but they at some point got it back to 11 p.m. where they can show any movie uncensored after 11, so long as they give enough like warning that it's uncensored. And then AMC's kind of in that situation of basically they've constantly argued that they're a cable channel. You have to pay for the subscription. They're not on the basic tiers, so it's not one of those situations of you could easily expose children to it. So why shouldn't they be able to add in more curse words? And since they're not a normal network, they go, well, yeah, I guess we maybe got a point. So they end up getting it most of the time, not all the time, obviously.
Okay, because I mean, maybe our providers are different, but like Viacom, like their deals with AMC and Spike and all that stuff are kind of like equal in the sense of like, the package you get them on, etc. So they're all like equally accessible. At least that's shit that I use. I use Comcast, Cox, yes, haha. The fuck.
Sure. How do you feel about the service?
Cox. Dicks. No,
No, but how they get away with that, Nick, is by saying it's still a product that they're selling, even though it's part of a package deal.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, it is, yeah. But the thing is, too, is like even the shows and everything, because like it's all from the same people, Viacom. They own True TV, Spike TV, and the whole thing. I don't know if they own FX though, but. I mean, even Ruthless right now is saying, like, yeah, like, FX has a lot of cussing. I didn't even know that. Like, I would watch FX, and I was surprised when they said the N-word. It wasn't a hard R, but still just saying the N-word on TV, I only saw it.
Again, in OJ, they use the hard R a lot. Like, that's what I'm getting at. It's like, this isn't really the first time. Like, television isn't, movies have this actual huge issue, because it's much more strict, where you can get, like, away, in a PG-13 movie, you can get away with one F-bomb, but after that, it becomes an R-rated movie. So it's like with TV shows, it's most likely along the same lines. That's why they're limiting it to 2, as opposed to being able to say whatever the fuck they want. Because I had a buddy of mine that was explaining to me kind of Negan, and how much he didn't like Negan in the comic, because all he would do it was just the comic's excuse to have a character swear all the time, just keep saying fuck every 3 seconds, like, oh, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fuck him, like. And it wasn't really done for any sort of like gravitas. It was just done just because they could get away with it. And I'm afraid they're going to do the same thing now. It's like, oh, now we can get away with it. Let's see how we can do this. And I'm glad they're just limiting it to 2.
And, here's the thing. Like, I totally agree that sometimes the cussing is not very creative and it's just kind of like, whatever, just throwing away the fucking word out there. But, like, situations like this is before Negan came around. And Rick, at the end of season 5, he had this big old thing where he was, they're all trapped. Everybody was about to die. It was actually a pretty scary scene. I was like, oh, shit, he's really going to go. And he's like, they're screwing with the wrong people. And I was like, in that serious situation, that's silly. That's like WWE shit. That's like, I'm gonna kick your butt on next Sunday. Like, that's fucking stupid.
I agree with what you're saying. That would have been cool if you just turned the camera and go, they're fucking with the wrong people. But
he did though on the Blu-ray.
Did he? Okay, that's good. Because honestly, they're screwing with the wrong people. I was so hyped for that next fucking season, and then the season happened, and I was like, wow, this is disappointing as hell.
No, and here's another thing too that I need to bring this up, because the show's quality, I mean, for me personally, changes a shitload. But y'all time what this is, man. Sopranos, like,
oh god,
but you don't like this show?
Not after that ended. I hate shows that do that shit.
Okay, man, I've been hearing so much about the ending, but I've never actually watched The Sopranos, and I want to. So it's just like,
I don't want to ruin it here.
From my rough memory, I think it's, I'm not going to spoil it because it's hard, but one character is killed in a certain spot, and we follow one character as it's pulling out. And then it just zooms on this character, and it zooms in like something's going to happen, and then black.
I guess, because I heard about that. All
basically, that original Inception fuck you that I hate.
No, because Inception had an ending.
Man,
You want
Yeah,
that?
spinning tops.
If anyone here is a fan of Assassin's Creed, that's how Assassin's Creed 3 ends.
oh,
The character got electrocuted and fades to fucking black.
man, why you guys gotta start spoiling shit? No, I'm just playing. I don't even give a fuck, honestly. But
Nick, you gotta get like a spoiler alert, frame for all of us, so that when we go crazy like this, you can just switch it up.
yeah, no shit. I'm doing it or whatever the fuck because I was expecting. I mean, I don't really care. It's just I know someone's gonna bitch.
Soylent Green is people. Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
Ah!
Man, me and my friend as a kid,
This
we wanted to do that
movie's
joke.
20 fucking years old or more.
Run into random movie theaters that's just spoiling fucking movies as soon as they come out.
Snake kills
Jaws is a
Dumbledore.
shark.
Well, like that's the thing. Like I'm looking over here too, and I mean the show is so good. And when I got to see, like, because for one, this is a mobster movie that's spread into a TV series,
Yeah.
and this shit gets fucking awesome. Like there's so many great moments in this fucking thing. And then you watch the DVD or whatever the fuck. 'Cause they didn't have Blu-rays when this shit came out. At least that's what.
Yeah,
I'm a
I'm
cheap
sure they
dude.
put it on Blu-ray afterwards. They always.
Oh no, of
remaster
course,
it.
but just when I first got it though, like it was
Yeah.
uncensored, and like when you get the uncensored version, it was fucking nice. Like this dude, I mean, it was like intense. It was like Goodfellas if they made a TV show out of it. It was fucking awesome.
Right.
I mean, they showed everything. That fucking cat needs to shut the fuck. I swear to God. No.
No, it's okay. We can't hear it.
Oh, okay, good.
That was ganja.
Yeah. Oh, my motherfucker. Nah. but just like the character gets over so much, like I mean, over here he probably looks like a fucking like he'd be in the back of your generic ass book or something like, hello, yes, I'm author Tony Soprano. But
You're so right, man. Like this is the photo, man.
This is Tony Soprano in the acting corner.
yeah, exactly. Like advice on acting from Tony Soprano. No, but like I'm just saying, dude, like this show got so much better with the cussing, and I feel like The Walking Dead will do that too. And here's another thing I need to bitch about really quick, just so I can talk about Walking Dead a little bit more because everyone likes to hear about that. No, the Blu-ray came out actually like this last month. I think it was like in August, and the cussing's still not in there. So that thing they promised, saying that yes, Negan's like fuck take. That's what they call it, the fuck take. Yeah, I know.
Man,
That can
somebody
mean
used to work
so
in
many fucking things, man.
Yeah, like I know, right? But no, like they even said. I mean, Negan even did an interview with AOL, which hey, by the way, AOL still exists.
AOL?
Yeah. Now you've seen those interviews, right, Ruthless? The AOL interviews.
Yeah, it's really weird too because you're like, wait, there's AOL interviews on YouTube. This doesn't make any sense.
AOL's
good,
still
too.
around.
Yeah.
Yes, AOL's still around because of the merger with Time Warner, and then I forgot who else they merged with. They technically still exist. I don't even know if they do internet service anymore. I know they have emails though, which is weird to see.
Yeah,
It was like
it's
one of
called
those
the Build series. This is it.
celebrities that you kind of don't think they're still around, and when you run into them again, you're like, aren't you supposed to be dead?
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
here it is right here, by the way, just like big old AOL logo there. But it's the Build series. I'm going to show the main page over here. And like I said, these interviews are great. Bill Burr was on it to do the F is for Family interview and things like
Sure.
that. I actually really like the interviewer. He's fucking hilarious. But yeah, anyways, either way, I just feel like more shows that have the F words in there and the cuss and everything. Ruthless is saying that FX already does this, but like Ganja, Alan, like what do you guys feel about this happening more often? I mean, what shows do you think needs a little bit of cussing in there?
See, that's the thing. Like most mature shows that have cussing in it don't really, to the extent, either need it or want it. It always depends on what the creator comes with it. Usually with comedies, the cussing is usually there to show like almost a explanation or a kind of emotion that people get for like the general audience. Because someone stubs their toe and screams out "fuck," it's more attainable to regular people because that's how most people react. Not everybody's gonna stub a toe. Oh gosh darn it, my toe done got stubbed. They ain't gonna react in the most kindest way possible. So it's more of a common language to use cuss words, and because they have a sense of a bad or taboo still around them, it gets more of a strike to it. That's why a lot of comedians, if they know how to use cussing well, they can use it to a great effect and get a lot of laughs out of it. Whereas the ones kind of just make you numb because cussing, especially using really hard cuss words, are just kind of get like a strike emotion out of you because you know it's taboo to use. Whereas if the show doesn't really require it, like I highly doubt Gilmore Girls needs a couple fuck yous.
That would be nice.
No,
like,
nothing
bitch,
would
fuck
make
you.
me actually watch that show more than it finding out. Like, yeah, every couple of episodes they say fuck for no reason. Like, what? Seriously?
It's just a cutaway. They're just talking. It's a cutaway that just says "fuck" and then continues the rest of the episode.
They're having some heartfelt conversation. Jesus, fuck, Jenny, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, whoa, this song is awesome. Hold on, I gotta watch this.
No, actually, I want to see everybody loves Raymond with cussing. Like, just Deborah, shut the fuck up. Like,
Oh yeah, like Ray Romano has a backbone to set up to fucking Deborah. Be Deborah going, Ray, you fucking idiot, get the fuck out of this.
imagine Deborah like, oh yeah, wait, you want me to fuck you with your small dick, you fucking Italian piece of shit? Like,
So send your favorite heartwarming television shows that should have the word fuck in it to Nick Diaz at Ragnarok.com.
Man, I actually want to see Nick's show now. Everyone loves Raymond. They get in a huge argument, and she just leaves her. That's why your dick don't look like Robert's.
and Robert's like, oh, I'm sorry, Ray.
God damn.
No, but here's the
You're
thing.
just a pussy mama's boy.
I mean, think about it. We kind of got a point here. I mean, Dynasty really is only remembered because it was the first, soap opera to have bitch in it. So,
Damn.
I don't know. Like maybe I'm real on the opposite, but it's always something with me of I don't really think swear words need to be there. I feel like Gotcha kind of nailed it with it's taboo. So I feel a lot of shows more than not say, oh man, we can use fuck. That's gonna throw people off because they're not used to it. And it's just like it's not really done in a way that actually makes sense. Like, you have situations where it's like I cuss for comedic effect, like randomly in the middle of a sentence, I'll just drop an F-bomb, just randomly because it adds emphasis to a certain line. But when you're watching television shows, like their job is to kind of make it work without necessarily the need for cussing. I think sometimes I think it works better in comedies, especially when they actually. Man, I'm glad you brought that up. There's
Patrick, fucking SpongeBob, fuck.
No.
Fuck you, Patrick.
Okay, you joke, but there's an episode of SpongeBob where they read something on a dumpster, and it's just like they basically kind of bleep it out in the show, and they call them sentence enhancers. So basically, it's supposed to be like almost like they're swearing, but they don't know what those words mean, so they think they're like high-end, like high society words. So they're just going through the entire episode essentially just cussing as much as possible, but it's all bleep, so people don't really understand what the heck's going on.
Because they go with the Squidward and they're all giggling, they're smiling. Smiling like Alan is right now, just cheeky as fuck. And they go with the Squidward, just giggling, they're like, Squidward, have a great day. Like, the way... Because it was back in the day where they couldn't censor properly, so you would get like the first letter to get like kind of inculation what they're about to say to a certain degree. Yeah. So it almost sounded like they called him fucker.
I love that shit, dude.
And then they keep going like on like they go on an intercom and they start doing that to the entire fucking like everyone eat the crap out of it is fucking great. Like in comedy you can get away with that.
I thought about doing that.
Yeah, like in comedy you can get away with that.
Intercom and just yelling shit.
Yeah, you can get away with that more in comedy because it's a lot funnier, it's a lot more absurd, especially when you have somebody like imagine if Justin just randomly said, "Man, fuck that guy," you'd be like, "Holy shit!"
No, if Justin cuss, dude, that shit. Like, I don't want to make him that mad in New York because if he literally is like, you know what, Nick, stick your shit. Like, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it adds emphasis
That
where
would be
needed.
crazy.
But honestly, I've always felt like you don't really need it. You really don't need it in a lot of stuff. Like, take the Deadpool movie, like. That didn't need to have the swearing. It did. It had maybe one or two cuss words. Take Logan. It didn't need to have any cuss words in it. They could still emphasize that this is real and this is heartfelt or this person's angry without the need to use certain words.
Or what they should do.
See, that's where I disagree because where I usually come from, like, you got to recognize that a lot of times when people use cuss words, it's to sympathize with a general audience because not a lot of people come from, like, a higher idea of what you should say when you're mad or angry. Most people are just going to go straight to a cuss word if they hurt themselves, they're angry. Like we were just joking right now with the Ray Romano sketch. She ain't, she's really mad at Ray. She ain't going to call him all kinds of fancy words to go around calling him a motherfucker.
No, I get that, but there's also like ways of her being angry without necessarily needing to just straight drop an F-bomb or call him motherfucker. Like calling him a little bitch or like, man, you go to hell. You can get the hell out of this goddamn house. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing.
Yeah,
like that's kind of like a I guess a soft way of cursing, whereas a lot of people would rather just go all out and give you more of a personal tone. Because when people use more harsher words, that means there's more emotional invested because you're trying to hurt the person.
Yeah, but that's only if it's used sparingly. You have a situation where when shows can get away with it, they use it all the fucking time, and that to me something nothing bothers me more. It's like you just swearing because you can get away with it. It's more like
I see South Park hanging over your head. Like I see a little Cartman floating.
Actually, yeah, honestly, South Park a lot does that. But there's like shows like, for instance, Rick and Morty is one of like super fucking adult, but it doesn't really use cuss words every 2 seconds. It slips it into dialogue, so you're not really sure. Like, oh, he just kind of dropped an F-bomb. Like, I like it in comedies when they actually bleep it, because I think that's funnier than actually just saying the word. Like just having someone bleep it, like there'll be a real life dialogue on here. Beep. Like, damn, that's I don't know. I personally find it.
I disagree.
Yeah, I like it when there's a character who is able to do something that kind of gets the cuss word out there. Like, okay, I hate to bring this up again, people, but Beast Wars. Like, Beast Wars does it great where they actually have words that replace the, like, for instance, slag.
The Smurf mentality. Just say whatever you want and just say Smurf, and everyone knows what you're getting at.
Yeah, like, Dinobot literally gets pissed off at Megatron. He's like, mother slag! And it's like, I'm like, fuck yeah, like, that means fuck, man. Like, that's great.
And then, was it Battlestar Galactica did the same thing where they got their own curse word to use in place of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
You know, when you hear it, you get like, oh shit! Like when you hear that word, it still has the effect of the cuss word, but you're not breaking no like real life laws. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where I always feel like it gets overused too much because of the taboo nature of certain swear words. So to me, it's just like if you're gonna use it, make it work. But if you don't need to, don't use it. You know?
I disagree. With some mature shows, I think they should be allowed to use curse words as casually as we do in common conversation.
Sure.
Just because it's on a medium platform doesn't mean it's held to the same restriction as you would, let's say, fine literature from Shakespeare, even though he cussed his ass off in it.
Oh no, like I'm not saying people shouldn't cuss. I mean, I cuss all the goddamn time. But a situation in which like how much of it is going to work without you just wanting, like, again, to bring it back to the whole Negan thing, like that was an excuse in the comic to have swearing because really no one's ever really swore that much in a comic, and he was using it every 3 seconds, fuckity fuck, and it's just like, yeah, that makes the character a joke as opposed to like if you use it once or twice. Like I kind of wish this news report didn't exist because how cool would it have been if Negan bashes some guy in the head and goes, man, fuck that guy. He's like,
no,
oh,
but
shit.
he does too. Like that's the thing. Like I saw interviews and whatnot, and he's talking about like when he bashes Glenn's head, and apparently like he had to do it to everybody, and he's literally talking shit like, oh, look how gross your fucking eye's sticking out, you sick fuck, and he's just talking shit like the whole time.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, that's cool. I love that. But in this version, he's not cussing at all. And see how brutal that shit is?
Yeah, you can still
and
get
you can still say the word screw instead of fuck. Like it's such a huge
it's
gap.
It's the whole violence and video game mentality of we can have people getting torn in half, but we can't show tits. It is literally certain things and certain words are more certain phrases are more taboo and less used as a result than certain things. Like people are able to get away with more things, more violence than they are with certain swear words.
That's something I always dislike because like we always get away with like the most glorious shit on TV. Like for example, we're seeing fucking this dude's head and eye socket literally popping out like if someone really bashed his head in. But God forbid you say the word fuck in front of children. Now they'll lose their innocence and Barney becomes a pedophile overnight.
No,
well, hey, give me 5 seconds. That'll already happen.
And that shit with Glenn fucked me up, by the way. And I'm a dude. Like I can hear cuss words. I've seen titty. I've done it. I'm a piece of shit. But that shit over here, dude, I turned me into a little girl. Like I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like that. I did not stomach that very well, dude. Honestly, I was actually in a college.
Again, it's old world mentalities, Yeah. So like we're starting to get away from that more and more and more. So it's just like it's really up to just the individual. If you're trying to keep this away from your kids, simple. Just don't have them stay away from The Walking Dead, or explain to them it's like, hey, this is all fantasy. You don't want a situation where they grew up and think this is how it's supposed to actually happen. Like have an actual conversation with your children if this is a thing, because it's becoming more and more mainstream to not have these restrictions anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because we're breaking away from the puritanical views that shaped everything from how media developed to how laws developed in this country. Finally, the U.S. is catching up with the rest of the world and realizing that,
Oh, your shit fucked up, I think. Wait, is everyone
Hello?
else's thing messing up?
I mean,
I hear it perfectly, but I don't know on your end if it's probably messing up.
Yeah, because on my
That
end,
sucks.
you went completely mute. Oh, there he is. I can hear him now, though. What the fuck?
Okay.
But no, we're
Well,
saying
that's
Ruthless in case, because I'm pretty sure they didn't hear it either.
Yeah, we're finally breaking away from our puritanical views that shaped everything in this country, from media to laws. We finally realize that if you tell children that something isn't for them and they can't have it yet, and you deny it from them while making it seem special and elite, they're going to want it even more often. So if we just normalize how sex, violence, and other things are in real society, we stop raising little psychopaths and start raising, well-rounded children. And hey, what do you know? Maybe we might actually fight the issues that people say that they give a fuck about, teen pregnancy and gun violence, by showing people that, hey, guns are not fucking toys. And hey, sex is good. Just know what the fuck to do when you're doing it. Who knew?
Exactly.
Who knew?
But one
again,
thing,
progression is slow.
Yeah, we'll move on though, because I know we went back and forth on this for like a long fucking time. But just so you guys know, 7 minutes. Okay, so we're not gonna go. We will not miss your double toaster. So if I were you people, the next thing that we're gonna talk about won't be a really big topic or anything. It's gonna be really quick. So this is your time to go take a big old shit like this big, like just huge turd. Like Ganja, listen to me. Like just go take that dump, people, and get something to eat too, and take a piss the whole thing because you're gonna be watching Double Toasted. Now I said that. Let's move on. And I got something to bring up to Ganja specifically. How do you feel about already they're talking about Rick and Morty season 4? Because now I'm getting worried. Now I feel like this is something that people are just fucking really pushing forward and really saying that it's the greatest thing ever. I've seen Tay show us a little thing on the Rabbit last fucking week. It was not funny. It's so all over the place.
Many out of context. I really wish you didn't see that. It like so much shit taken out of context.
But it's like even in culture too. Like I went to the store, people are bringing it up. I work my other job, people are bringing it up. It's one of those things where it's so popular just because people need something popular. And within the next season, people are gonna be like, "Oh, this sucks. Oh, that's what." So, Ganja, what do you feel about season 4? Them already announcing it, and then obviously more episodes. You're muted.
Shit.
You're muted.
Okay. You know, actually, this is his mouth. Yeah, so the other day I was walking around, I was like, oh, shit, what do we hear? And I was like, what are you going to do? I mean, and I was like, whoa, look at that. And then I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And, what's up?
They got shot? Okay. Just until Gaza gets back, I'll throw
Suddenly
it.
Pennywise comes like into the frame behind him, like, no, run, Gotcha, run!
That shit was amazing.
Gaza, you good? You alive?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
I had to switch to AT&T. My bad, y'all. No, but usually how this comes about, like I get what you're coming at, but it's mostly because I guess the best example I can give it is kind of like how The Simpsons was in their heyday. When they first premiered, everyone watched it. Everyone in their generation knew The Simpsons. Even if the people that didn't really like The Simpsons even checked it out a few episodes here and there and got what was going on. And I feel the same as with Rick and Morty. The difference is the creators Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon are very keen on the shelf life of the show. That's why they take 2-year breaks in between each season, because they want to filter out the universe as best they can and get the best adventures they can out of Rick and Morty. And not only that, I think it's Justin Roiland is friends with the guy who created Gravity Falls. I'm forgetting on the creator's name at the moment. If anyone in the chat remembers, please post it in there so we can get it later. But the creator of Gravity Falls basically made Gravity Falls to be basically a 4-season act. He had everything planned out, the season finale. So I wonder if he's going to take off of him being, friends with Alec Hirsch. I just remembered his name. Be friends with Al Hirsch. He might take his lead and actually end the show on a high note rather than just continue it on like The Simpsons to where everyone's bored of the characters. All the adventures have been done and they need to just end the shit.
Yeah, no, I agree with what Ganja's getting at, and it's right now it's the hot thing. People are really into it. People are really enjoying it, and I think it's a situation in which it just because it's super creative and something Ganja's saying they always announce this stuff. Like every single show is like, yeah, we're working on another season. We still have ideas. And in the article there, they kind of like are trying to, they're trying to convince the higher ups that they want more episodes because they have way more, they have more ideas and more stuff. I want to hear the next news story. I also want to hear that they have an idea, like I said, at season 5, season 6. Because I think honestly every show needs to end at some point. Game of Thrones is ending. The happiest news I ever got from Game of Thrones is that they're ending season 8. So I'm like, good. You get to wrap everything up. I know where the end point is, and I can see where it's going to finish. I think South Park, Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, all those shows need to eventually end. And I hope the same thing happens to Rick and Morty. Not because it's bad or I don't realize it sucks now. It's great. It's just eventually, yeah, you tell all the stories, and you're like, what else can we do besides going through the highlights? Like it really should end at some point.
I mean, the one thing that really bothered me, and it kind of gave me an idea of like, okay, this is getting way too popular for it's no good, but was this Szechuan, I can't say it right, but the
Szechuan sauce, man. I am so mad that I lost that fucking bet, man. That I fucking said that McDonald's would never fucking support that. I am so mad at that.
Happened with those fucking, what do you call those things from Seinfeld, and they shoot the Pez dispenser. Like,
yeah, Pez dispensers.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld made a little joke about it, and in the early 90s, Seinfeld was getting way too hyped. Like, they were really overly sucking that show's ass.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is it got so bad that he makes a joke about a Pez dispenser putting on Elaine's leg, and I swear to God, like, the stock of Pez dispensers put, like, an extra decade of life into that fucking thing. Like, it became one of the biggest things, a Pez dispenser.
That happens, though. Like again, it's a popular-ass show that's hitting its market really, really strong. It's just, yeah, that happens all the fucking time where it's like they mention this thing and people just kind of run with it because it's funny. Like you have a situation where this show is massively, it's probably one of the most popular shows out right now. It is at the highest point that it's ever going to be is right now, and they're going to keep going until they end it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It just worries me.
You got Nick. You also got to look at like every few years, every decade, we really have one major like animated phenomenon with the public consciousness because they can talk about things in a much broader sense than we can with most live action shows. They can deal with deeper issues, or they can just go to comedic places that we can't go to with live action. And of course, for the '90s, that was The Simpsons. For the '70s, that was the Flintstones of all fucking things.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, original Flintstones was a prime time animated show, just like The Simpsons is. And then, of course, for the early 2000s, it was South Park. It went to Family Guy for a bit, which I'm sure a lot of people are regretting, including me.
Yep.
And now it's got Rick and Morty, who has creators that I really do think, they're going to end the show before it gets ridiculous. I don't think we're going to be talking about season 25 of Rick and Morty.
I hope not, man.
No, but
I really don't think that's coming.
No, you say that, but then I didn't know how this can be so fucking popular and get so far too. I mean, Family Guy. There's box sets of Family Guy. I thought this shit was gonna last like 2 seasons. I was like, dude, okay, it's gonna be
It did last 2 seasons.
Yeah, but it's a situation in which Gotcha brought up actually earlier in the show is the original guy making this isn't there anymore. So it's like, it became such a mega hit that they didn't need they could just do whatever the fuck they want because it changed after Seth MacFarlane left to do shittier stuff. So it's like this situation where the creators are still there, so it's not a situation in which maybe the creators left because then we'd all be worrying if the show's going to go down. But right now things seem to be well in hand, and they seem to be doing more of serialized stories that have character development. So it's going to be hard for them to continue this, past season 5, season 6.
Yeah.
I would say 6 seasons is probably like.
I think that's a good place to end.
I think Ganjo will agree
6
with me
seasons
that.
of Rick and Morty would be awesome.
I think Ganjo will agree with me that regular show did that shit perfect. Like regular
How
show.
many seasons did that get to?
Adventure Time is the one that slipped up in doing it. I could tell they did an extra 2 seasons just because they could.
Yeah, and regular show.
Because that check didn't bounce. That's what that was.
Wasn't it
You're damn right, didn't.
So how many seasons did regular show have?
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7.
I think it's like 6 or 7 for regular show, and Adventure Time is going up to 9. Yeah,
and I'm gonna look this up really quick too.
5 to 7 seems to be a good spot because television shows have the same problem. Sons of Anarchy really should have ended at season 5. Breaking Bad ended at season 5.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully it doesn't land in a situation where like even and just to bring up everything that we brought up today and talked about. Hopefully it doesn't turn into Walking Dead where they order 20 seasons ahead of time or some shit. Hopefully it doesn't turn into Sopranos where it was 9 seasons. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, The Walking Dead.
What was that?
I'm glad you brought up The Sopranos because Rick and Morty ends with like, Jessica, I love you, and it goes for a kiss and it fades to black. I think I would accept Rick and Morty doing that to me because they've done so many fuck you moments and like out of their unexpected. Like, that's one of your favorite things about shows. They will constantly do the unexpected. So I would totally see them getting away with that. Like, hey, fuck it, we're just gonna give y'all Sopranos ending because you know what, fuck y'all.
No, I see. You say that, but I think it'd be a situation. It's going to be like the Soprano ending, and then it's going to go on for like 10, 50 seconds of black, and then it's going to come back to the show. Just like this. People over. It's like, no, wait. He pushes the screen. Wait. We got one more thing, and then it's just like them like actually having a good moment, and the show ends. Like I can totally imagine like a comp, like think it's going to end like Soprano.
Mr. Poopy Butthole come out at the end for like the last 5 seconds. Oh, wait, that sure was a good series, huh, guys?
So they're gonna I expect it to be like that. They're gonna have some way to kind of wrap every character arc, do a fake Soprano ending, and then actually kind of give a real ending.
I really do want Mr. Poopy Butthole to shoot Jessica in front of Morty just to like as payback for shooting it. His mom shooting it.
Hey, okay, no, that's fucked up, man. Why would you fuck with Morty?
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
I love this because Ruthless, there is a flashback in the current episodes that show a certain relationship between Morty and Mr. Poopy Butthole. So that could be one of those memories that blacked out.
But one thing, just to bring this up really quick, just so people know, because I don't want to screw anyone over. We know who the main event is, okay? We're just the openers, but here we go.
Yes, Anime Night.
Double toast. At Anime Night as well, you fucking nerds. No, definitely doing Anime Night. And then also, just to put this out there one more time, when I yell at Julian, because I'm going to watch the next South Park episode just to have something to bitch about. And when I do, Julian, 21 seasons of South Park? Fuck
Jesus
you.
Christ.
Fuck
they're gonna
you.
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna release 4 seasons in 1 year to catch up to Family or to The Simpsons, They're like, fuck it. If we just keep pumping out seasons, we'll catch up with the season. We'll be the longest running.
Yeah, that shit drives me fucking nuts. Like, anyways, I'm gonna move on because I will talk shit about South Park for a fucking hour. But
It's okay.
Alan,
watch Animal with Julian one time.
no, I'm good. But here's the thing, though, Alan. Go ahead and talk about Anime Night. What you guys got in the ducket? The whole thing.
Again, for anyone that's viewing the Facebook, basically what we're doing, we're just kind of doing, we're taking a break from the themes, because the themes are kind of just an excuse to have a random anime, but honestly, we're getting to points like, me, Ganja, and Trey are just discussing random animes that are kind of new and coming out, so we just put a list, and one of the options in the list... What?
No, the Jane Smith one.
Oh, God, we're going to talk about that on Saturday. We're going to talk about that on Saturday. But it's going to be a random grab bag of animes that were looked interesting. And the fourth option is just kind of a viewer's choice, that if there's something that you guys particularly want to watch instead, we'll just throw it on there, because that's really been the best anime nights and viewing parties, is people just saying, hey, check this out, check that out. It's also had the worst moments, but hey.
Can I make one request?
We're not... Okay, no more abridged.
No, it's not abridged. It's not abridged later. Can we watch the 15-minute anime for Blade Runner, like the prequel anime?
Sure.
Because that looks amazing.
I'll look for it right now.
Yeah. So, but
Okay, that'll be
Ganja.
Real quick, before we go, I want to let the good people know how they're going to get inside, Nick, because sometimes people get a little confused because we have 2 different chat rooms going at the time. So for people to clarify, we're going to be posting links both inside the YouTube comments section. I've been a little slow on it because I have to wait for the video to post, but please be checking it periodically. I will have it in the comment section for you guys to join, as well inside the DT Double Toasted chat room. Make sure to look for it. It's going to be under After Hours. That's where I always post the rabbit link. Just let you guys know which one is which.
And then another thing, too, I have you do this, Ganja, but why don't you tell them about that Midnight Chat Attack Facebook page, son?
Oh, that's a beautiful Facebook page where we also show you guys, your little content creations. Fucking Jordan got his, MCA Brawl that we like to post up by there. Anybody comes up with, some good creative works, we'll make sure to get them onto the Facebook fan page. We like it when you guys do, fun little Photoshops. Especially what Jordan's been doing with the MCA Brawl is fucking amazing. And you can check out all his photos on there. I'll make sure to constantly get them off the children of toes to get a nice little catalog going. Also, make sure to send us videos, quick little stuff you like Dijon always posting his little gifts. And make sure to message us on the Facebook if you guys have any questions of the night that you want to submit to us, or just want to talk to us in general and let us know what's up.
I'm telling you, I love that fucking gift so much. Like, you would think it'd get old at this point, but that's like the new fast one. Like, I fucking love that.
Man, every time I see that gift, I always think of fucking Birdman losing his shit. And I know it's already been like almost a month, but I can't help but hear him say, fuck this, and just fucking losing his shit.
Yeah, man, he beat the fuck out of his shit. He Markipliered out. It was great. People... No, man, but that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and count towards to 3, okay? From the bottom to the top, son, okay? We start from the bottom. Now we hear the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, attack.
Attack the chat.
Attack it. Anyway, night. Look at you.